Is there anything you feel that might still be barriers for us as leaders, as women, and as Black women?
Yes, one of the things that I would say, apart from obviously the funding issue, is also the fact that we need to be part of the decision-making process. It's not just telling us this is what the policy is, this is what the procedure is, this is what the government is saying, and then you just have to do it that way. Because we're community leaders, our voice needs to be heard, and especially that we represent a specific community.
Yeah.
And this community, we are experts.
Yes.
In this community, we understand the language and the struggles of this community. So we should be part of the decision-making boards, whether at local authority level, whether at national level, to shape this policy so that everyone is involved.
Well, it's not just about being part of it, but being valued as being part of it, because sometimes they want to hear what you say and then they like... Hello, welcome back to Me with Margaret. Me with Margaret stands for Motivate, Educate and Engage. It's a platform where we look at different topics. And actually, at this point in time, we're having conversations with wonderful people to talk about a wonderful topic in a wonderful month. This is the month that we celebrate International Women's Day, and we celebrate Mother's Day. It's all about moms, sisters, daughters, and women. So today I have a lovely woman. I don't want to say she's a young woman anyway, so it doesn't matter. But it's going to be a very inspiring session to hear her story, where she's from, what she does, and why she does it. I think it will inspire you, because that's the theme for this season, Inspire to Include. So join me to welcome the lovely Ola Olive. Did I say that right? Ola, tell us about yourself. Who are you really, and what do you do?
Thank you first and foremost for inviting me. My name is Ola Olive Stephen, and I am the Chief Executive and Founder of an organization called Ladies of Virtue Outreach, named LOVO.
Okay.
We have been based in Southwark since 2008, offering services to women and their families. And we have 3 key service areas that we focus on. That's around skills training. We provide mentoring and coaching and various well-being initiatives. And right now we're running a day center, a Women's Day Center, which I believe is the first of its kind in Southwark.
Wow.
So we're really very proud of that. And it's even won an award twice in Southwark and even across London as well. And that's who I am.
Wow. You're saying you work with women. When you say women, I think it's important because of the work we do, looking at the kind of women. Are they from the marginalized communities? Is it about the English language, the literacy skills? What's the makeup? What's the demographics of the women you support?
Yes. Even though we don't exclude any woman, but most of the women that use our service are really marginalized women, mostly from the minority communities. And also we have a lot of women that have experienced domestic violence, and we cater for that kind of women as well. So basically, women that are vulnerable, are marginalized as a result of their personal experiences, either because of domestic violence or language barrier or culture, whatever it is that is making them vulnerable, that's what we are there for in LOVO.
So what inspired you to do what you're doing?
Yes, that's a very good question. I'll go back to when I was very young. When I was very young, I was very, very bullied in school. As a teenager, to the point of wanting to commit suicide. And I now understand when I see young girls, what they're going through, because I've been there, being alone. The family was dysfunctional at that time. My mom was not really there to give the support that I needed, emotional support that I needed. And my dad was never around that as of that time. So it was really a very dysfunctional family. You just had to do your own thing the way you needed to do it. I didn't have friends, friends that I thought were true friends. They were not really true friends. They wanted me to measure up to a status quo. I could not. And as a result, I was just left alone. And I just said to myself, what is the point of living this life? Let me just give up. But I had a spiritual experience, which is why my faith is very, very key to who I am at this stage of my life. And that spiritual experience, which is my faith in Christ, really, really helped me during those years. I believe they are formative years.
Yeah.
During those years, and I was able to go on a journey of self-discovery.
Wow.
And that has brought me to where I am now. And what I always tell people is that whatever your mess is, there's always a message there. It's about taking this mess and being able to mold it and bring something beautiful, whereby your life becomes and your story becomes an inspiration to others.
Amen.
Because one thing I always say is that don't just tell me that this is what you need to do, because you don't understand pain, not been through it. But when you have someone that has been through your pain,
Exactly.
it makes you receive whatever it is.
It's what we call a lived experience. Yeah.
Receive what they have to offer because they've been through it. And you are not just talking the talk, you've actually walked the talk. So you are almost like an expert in it. And you're now on the other side being able to help others. And I think that is powerful and what we all should aspire to.
Fantastic. Wow. So your passion has brought you to the place you are now with what you do as your charity. Has it always been easy, though, building that charity as a Black woman leader in the community? How's that been?
Yes. I would say it has had its ups and downs. But it's important that when you have passion for something, you keep going. I remember times that we did not even have any funding, which is always the issue.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Yeah.
I was not, nothing was coming in. I was even using my own money to run the charity, And the reason is because the need is huge. And you just have to, I can't have someone walking through our door and say, oh, sorry, there's no funding, I can't offer you that. So we've been through those stages, and now LOVO is becoming like a name to be identified with in Southwark, in London, but the journey has not always been like that. So.
Fantastic. That is so nice to hear. The question I'd like to ask next is, as a leader, a Black woman and a leader, it's the theme for the month or for International Women's Day is Inspire to Include. So what do you say, or what can you say about, I'm inspired, then how do I inspire other people? Because we know and we've heard stories whereby people get to the top, but they're not actually inspiring anybody else. They're actually not helping anybody else to be leaders like them, or to get involved with things like them. What do you say to that?
One thing I want to say to that is people or leaders that think like that or that act that way, there is a level of insecurity in them. Because true leadership is about being able to raise leaders like you. Maybe not even specifically like you, but raising leaders that are able to stand on their own and not always having to, what you say, follow your leader, but
to be what they need to be for themselves.
Exactly. And so for leaders that are not able to raise leaders that can stand on their own and be secure in who they are, then it's because there is an atom of insecurity in their own lives. And unfortunately, we see that all over the world. with nations, leading the presidents of nations of the world, communities, even in faith groups, we see that.
Yes,
and it's so unfortunate. But I am grateful that I don't see myself. In fact, it's my joy to see that somebody that came into my life, or we met, let's put it that way, at the time that she was very vulnerable, and I'm able to give a little bit of support that, she needed at that time, and now able to stand on her own 2 feet and walk her own journey to destiny is my joy.
Yes.
Joy, and that's what you should.
And I think that's how it's supposed to be. When you see people you mentor, you coach, and actually they become, I always like saying that they're my colleagues. As you know, we're colleagues together, we're doing the work together. So
the story of a woman that came to LOVO at the time that she was really, really very vulnerable, and she was experiencing nervous breakdown at that time. She was even referred to us by her GP. And then she engaged in one of our trainings, which had to do with SNL assessment training, and she got involved. And within the space of 1 year that she engaged with us at LOVO, she found herself again. I said, oh, wow, teaching is actually something that I really love. And you can't believe it. Now she is back as a lecturer.
wow.
In one of the colleges.
Wow.
In South London.
Wow, that is such a testimony. And this is what we're talking about. This is what it means to inspire. Be inspired to include others in your journey, in that process, so that we can be what we need to be. Thank you so much. Is there anything, when we talk about, like we're looking at support in our communities with funding, with other charities, with governments, with local authorities, is there anything you feel that might still be barriers for us as leaders, as women, and as Black women?
Yes, one of the things that I would say, apart from obviously the funding issue, is also the fact that we need to be part of the decision-making
process.
It's not just telling us this is what the policy is, this is what the procedure is, this is what the government is saying, and then you just have to do it that way. Because we're community leaders, our voice needs to be heard, and especially that we represent a specific community.
Yeah.
And this community, we are experts.
Yes.
In this community, we understand the language and the struggles of this community. So we should be part of the decision-making boards, whether at local authority level, whether at national level, to shape this policy so that everyone is involved.
Well, it's not just about being part of it, but being valued as being part of it, because sometimes they want to hear what you say and then they so that's one of the biggest challenges we have. It's about being supported to support our community much better. Thank you so much. Let's look at our moms, our parents, our young girls now. What's your take on, especially living in a culture that might be dominant over where we're coming from? We were talking before now about mental health, especially from the Black community. How do we inspire our young girls, our moms, to open up to talk a bit more about what you're going through?
Well, one of the things that I would say is that moms and parents need to understand that the Gen Z,
Gen Z,
Gen Z dispensation, let me put it like that, is totally different from when we were growing up. And so there needs to be that understanding and mutual respect. And I believe that when there is that dialogue, opportunity to dialogue, there will be a lot of improvement and the way forward. Gone are the days when mommy is always right. Because mommy might not always be right. And so it's time for mom to also listen, and also daughter or child to also listen to what mom has to say, and then we come to a middle ground. At the end of the day, what we're looking for is a beneficial outcome.
Yes. Yeah.
That should be the focus.
Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing. And any last words for our wonderful audience, people that are listening out there that might need support, that might need to say, oh gosh, what am I don't feel inspired, I don't feel included, I don't know what to do. I'll leave.
I want to encourage you all that live every day with so much gratitude. Because if you count your blessings, you will see that you have a lot of things to be grateful for. And one thing about gratitude is that it would allow even more abundance to come into your life. I want you to know that life is not an entitlement, but it's a privilege. And so when you see it like that, we all will take more responsibilities of our actions, of our decisions, of opportunities that come our way, and we'll live a happier and healthier life.
Wow.
I wish you all the best.
Thank you so much. I don't know any other way about being more inspired than what we've just heard right now. It's about inspiration, and I feel inspired already, and I hope you have as well. It's not just about us inspiring you, it's about inclusion as well. How do we bring ourselves together to support each other, to climb the ladder, and to bring those under us up? So I'll see you next time on Me with Margaret. I hope you've enjoyed it. Like, share, and subscribe.